Mission Impossible franchise is one that should have died long ago. The first was a solid enough film by Brian De Palma that showcased some really cool set pieces and stunts. The second was a pretty boring film by John Woo that had one redeeming quality. Dougray Scott chose to play the villain in that film instead of Wolverine and X-Men. So literally, if it wasn't for Mission Impossible 2, we wouldn't have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Not okay!
But I digress. Mission Impossible 3 was entertaining enough to watch, but outside of a masterful performance by Philip Seymour Hoffman, it wasn't particularly memorable. Then the franchise took some time off while the studio decided what to do with it. Paramount wanted to part ways since Tom Cruise's personal life was hemorrhaging onto his professional reputation. Cruise convinced Paramount to give him one more film with the stipulation that a co-star be cast who could take over the franchise. Enter Jeremy Renner and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, a film that proved to be such a huge success that Cruise would be able to follow up with Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Consequently, Cruise now has a pretty firm grip on this franchise, and he can continue churning out these movies as long as they keep making money. That brings us to the sixth installment, Mission Impossible Fallout. For the first time, a director is returning, Christopher McQuarrie. For the first time, the female lead is returning, Rebecca Ferguson. For the first time, the villain is returning, Sean Harris. For the first time, this film is a direct sequel rather than just returning characters on a new adventure. Thus, Ethan Hunt will have to fight his greatest nemesis, continuity. It turns out the villains of the last movie didn't like their leader being taken out and have split into various smaller groups that call themselves the Apostles. Naturally, they revel in committing random terror attacks around the world. Hunt and his team, Ving Rhames, Henry Cavill, and Simon Pegg, must stop them from getting a hold of 3 nuclear weapons. With the exception of the second entry, all these movies have been fun to some degree. However, Rogue Nation was easily the best of the bunch, and now, surprisingly, Fallout manages to be right up there on the same level. The action is exciting, the reveal of the main villain is one of the most skillful reveals I've seen in a long time. If I had to level some complaints, I'd argue that the helicopter chase sequence goes a little bit long. Also, the love for Cruise's Hunt from other characters can get a bit thick. Other than that, the film manages to explore characters more than any other previous entry in the series, while never letting the heart-pounding action ease up. The result is compelling characters, an engaging story, doing jaw-dropping stunt work, and truly spectacular action set pieces. Literally everything you could want in an action film. This is one mission you should choose to accept.
Hey, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And if you really love this video, consider visiting my Patreon page.